Okay, let's get started. It was requested in the comment section that we should do a campfire. So let's get started with that. The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to head over to our content, our inventory. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this one Campfire. Inside of your chest folder, you're going to right click your BP chest. You're going to create a new child blueprint out of that. We're going to call this one BP Campfire. Move that campfire into your campfire slot. Also, while we're here, open up your WBP chest inventory, your size box, replace that with a wrap box. The padding, I'm going to do 5, so this makes sure that everything just wraps nicely inside of the chests. I'm also going to remove the save game that I have, so I'll be right back. Back into your content folder, inventory, campfire. On the BP campfire, we're going to do some things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the mesh, so I'm going to import that as well. I'll be right back. So now we have a campfire that we can place out. That is basically a chest. We're going to make a button that we can use to activate things. So let's do that. In your content folder, inventory, we got our interface. We're going to make it there. Right click user interface. Call this one WBP start stop. Inside of start stop, we're going to have a button. I'm not going to bother naming it. Let's change it to decide. We're going to add a size box inside of our button and override that by 256 by 64 maybe. Inside of the size box, add a border and another border. First border, change the brush color a little bit. And we can't do the content like that. I keep forgetting that. But the content on the brush color on the second one we can do. So let's do it like this. Text, justify that to the middle. I'm going to call this one start stop text. Make that variable. And the text, default text, could be start stop. Inside of the graph, we're going to add a couple variables. We're going to add, the first one is who we activating. It's going to be a type actor. And what we want to do now is we want to get our who we activating, and actually under designer, click your button, add a on clicked event. Out from who we activating, we're going to do a cast to BP campfire. We haven't added the function yet in our campfire. We also haven't added the interact. We need to copy our interact from our parent because we are going to add to it and such. First things first though, set FPP ref from our parent to the incoming one. Head over to your chest, get the interact event, everything except for the FPP ref. Control C, go back to your campfire, move this return node even more out. And then we can plug that in like so. We also want to go to our HUD. So in your inventory interface and your HUD, you want to add the start stop. Size that to content and just put it wherever you want to have it. I'm just going to put it there. Back in your campfire, you're going to get your FPP ref, get your HUD ref, and then get the start stop. Out from start stop, you're going to set who we're activating. And you're going to set it to ourselves. This is the chest that we're activating, or this is the campfire, or this is the door, or whatever you want it to be, you know? You can use that start stop anywhere you want. Out from start stop, get the start stop text and set text out from that. Because we need an initial text if it's on or off. We're going to do in the in text, we're going to do a select node. The wildcard is going to come from ourselves. We're going to make a variable. It's going to be called started. That is going to be our wildcard. If we're started, if started is false, then we're going to say start. If started is true, then we're going to say stop. Once that is done, we're going to get our WBP start stop. We're going to set the visibility of that to be visible. And after that, we're going to return. This has to be set to hidden by default. Let's compile and save. It doesn't do anything when we start it though, so let us handle that. Over on your start stop, on the button when we are clicking this, we need to set up a function over on our campfire. not a function, sorry, a custom event. We're going to call this one button switch. It's going to have an input of WBP start stop, and it's going to be called button ref or start stop ref. Promote that to a variable, and after this we want to go into a branch out from our started. So if we are started, then we want to set started to be false, and the other way around on false. Our start stop ref, grab that, get it, and then get the start stop text. Out from this, you get a set text in both directions. So started is true, then we want to have it say stop, and other way around up top. Then we want to add a health bar to this. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go into our inventory again. No, into our content drawer, inventory, Campfire. Make a new widget blueprint user interface. Call this one WBP Campfire Health Bar. At least that's what I'm going to call it. Inside Campfire Health Bar, make sure that it's set to the side on screen. Add a size box. This size box is going to be 256 by 32. And inside that size box, we're going to add a progress bar. I'm going to set the default percentage a bit up. And I'm going to call this one Campfire Progress Bar. Back on your Campfire over here, what we want to do is want to add a new widget. Call this one Campfire Progress Bar. Campfire Progress Bar is going to be set to screen. It's going to be a draw size of 100 by 20. Widget is going to be the health bar that we just created. You can put it wherever you want. I'm just going to put it maybe like that. Click play just to see how it looks. And that's our little health bar. If we want, we can make a zone, so we can add maybe a box collision, or maybe a sphere would probably be better. The sphere collision. Oh, that's not a sphere collision, that's a sphere. Sphere collision. Make that as big as you want. So if we're inside, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe like that. Add a begin overlap and also a end overlap. Other actor is our first person, so cast your first person. Duplicate that down. If it starts to overlap, we're going to get our progress bar. We're going to set the visibility of that progress bar to true. However, if we leave it, it's going to be false. Leave that, leave the zone, and it's going to trigger as soon as I get close enough to it. We have added our button switch now, so inside as Campfire, you can do a button switch. The start stop ref is ourselves. Once that is fired off, we are currently doing these kinds of things. So let's see if that works. It starts, it stops, it starts, it stops, easy. Now what we want to do is, if it's starting, we're going to make a couple of custom events here. So let's add a custom event called start. And let's add a custom event called stop. We're going to call start after we set the text, and we're going to call stop after we do the same up there. Inside of start, what we're going to do is we're going to have a fire. So do we have a p underscore fire? Yeah, we have a p underscore fire. I'm just going to use that. In your components, add a new one. Add a effect, a particle, what is it called? Particle system. We're not using Niagara for this. The template is p fire. Go to your viewport. This looks crazy as fuck, but we don't really care, do we? You can go in here and tweak the particle however you want it to be, but I'm guessing that you have your own system that you want to implement that. Back to your Campfire. We're going to set this particle system to be not visible at start. And also inside of our scenery, we're going to add a point light. This point light, we're going to change the color to be like a yellowish, maybe a little bit redder. Maybe something like that. Move it a little bit up so that it doesn't like interfere. You can also change the mesh to not cast shadow with the darker instead of world. So Control L to move your sunshine down. That's looking kind of nice, isn't it? This one is also going to be hidden by default. So on our start stop, we're calling our button switch. We're calling our start event. On start, we're going to get our particle system and we're going to get our point light. I'm going to set the visibility of both of these. That's all fine, but it doesn't really burn or do anything. So over here, we're going to make a new function. I'm going to call this one burn. Burn is going to have an output, going to be a type boolean, it's going to be a type success. Unplug it, move it away. Now we need to make a couple variables. So the first one is going to be a float. It's going to be C fuel. After that, you're going to add a M fuel. And then after this one, we are going to add another one, which is going to be called current fuel source. It's going to be of type master item. We're going to start the burn with a branch. The branch, the condition is going to be if current fuel is greater than 0. Do we have any fuel? If that is true, we're going to get our current fuel. We're going to set our current fuel, and we're going to set it to, let's do -5, -2 on this example. This is the rate at which it will burn. But we can also change that in the delay later. So let's actually do this to, yeah, let's do this to 2. Fuck it. I'm going to set it to current fuel -2. After this, we're going to get our, we need to get our ref. So we need to go into our event graph. In our begin play, we need to cast to Campfire health bar. It's going to be our Campfire progress bar. What do we call it that? Yeah, whatever. Get the widget, and that's going to be our object. After this, we can promote this to a variable. Like so, save that, head back to burn. Get your Campfire variable, get the progress bar from it, and set the percent of that. The percent that we're going to set it to is going to be current fuel divided by our max fuel. Set that into the in percent. After this, we can return with a success. If it's false, so if current fuel is not greater than 0, it's going to be a false. Compile and save that. In our event graph, on our start, we're going to get our burn. So get our burn, and before the burn, we're going to add a delay. Delay is going to be 0.2 for us. Out from the branch, like so. If we are successful, so if we are successful in burning, we're going to add a new custom event and call this one reburn or something. Call it whatever you want. This goes into a delay, and we're going to call it reburn. So it's going to tick down our current fuel. So right now it's not going to do much. So the success, oh yeah, of course the success. We don't have any fuel. So let's set it to 100 for now, and our maximum fuel to 100. If I click on the Campfire event graph, if I click play and we try to start it, it's going to keep burning down. Let's actually set this progress bar to be visible by default, because you're always going to be close enough to actually see it when you're starting it anyway. Yeah, so in the next video, we're going to be adding the function to refuel and also the byproducts. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Remember to like and subscribe. It truly does mean a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.